Hey folks, want to come on here and shoot a quick solo podcast. Hopefully we'll keep this one under 15 minutes. Today I wanted to briefly talk about a company called Lime. For those of you who don't know, I'm based in Sydney, Australia at the moment, and within the city there seems to be a number of them around and even outside. So let's get into it. Lime, officially Neutron Holdings Inc., doing business as Lime, is an American micro-mobility company best known for its shared electric scooters, electric bikes and electric mopeds that you can rent in cities around the world. What Lime does, Lime operates dockless electric scooters and bikes, vehicles you can find, unlock and pay for using a smartphone app. Users ride them for short distances in cities and then park them in public spaces at the end of the trip. The service is designed to reduce car usage, traffic congestion, and emissions by offering a cleaner, flexible urban transport option. Company Basics, founded in 2017, originally as Lime Bike, headquarters San Francisco, California, USA. Founders Brad Bowe and Toby Sun, CEO Wayne King. As of latest reports, operations over 250 to 280 cities across nearly 30 countries on multiple continents. How it works: number one, app-based. You use Lime's mobile app to locate and unlock a nearby scooter or bike using GPS. Number two, ride. You pay per minute after a small unlock fee. Number three, park. At the end of the ride, you leave the vehicle parked in an approved public spot and finish the trip in the app. Local presence, e.g. Australia and NZ. In Australia and New Zealand, Lime has been running shared e-bikes and scooters in major cities including Sydney, Gold Coast and Melbourne, with millions of trips taken to date. Sustainability goals: Lime emphasizes sustainability, designs vehicles to be long-lasting and repairable, operates its facilities and vehicles using 100% renewable energy, is working on battery recycling partnerships to reduce waste. Business and growth: Lime has become one of the largest shared micro-mobility operators globally. As of 2025, they have been preparing for a potential initial public offering, which we mentioned on the show before, IPO in the US, to raise capital and grow further. I don't think we'll get into that again, this on ChatGPT. We'll go to Gemini, see if we're missing anything. Maybe we'll talk about it. Just maybe briefly talk. What is an IPO? Initial public offering. IPO is the process where a private company, e.g. Lime, raises capital by selling shares to the public for the first time. So rather than it being a number, by the way, I'm not a financial advisor, but rather than it being a specific people, it's now open to pretty much everybody within reason. Maybe I'll take that back. However, we'll continue the podcast. Transitioning into a public traded entity. I think that's correct, by the way. This, quote, going public, end quote, allows firms to fund expansion, pay down debt, or increase their profile utilizing investment banks for underwriting. Key aspects of an IPO include capital raising. The primary goal is to gain access to funds from institutional and retail investors. That's what I mean by, let me just get into that in a sec. Listing: after the IPO, the company shares are listed and traded on a stock exchange, e.g. NASDAQ, NYSE, or ASX. Process: companies must file a prospectus with regulators, e.g. SEC or ASIC, which provides necessary financial information for investors. Underwriting: investment banks, acting as underwriters, manage the process, market the shares and help determine the initial price. Investor access: it provides a platform for early investors and founders to exit or monetize their investments while offering new investors a chance to buy into the company. An IPO transforms a private company into a public one, subjecting it to increased regulatory scrutiny and a new set of rules. Let's just look this up on Google. What is an IPO? I'll correct myself in case it's wrong. Who can invest in an initial public offering? An initial public offering, we already talked about this, is a process where a private company sells shares to the public to raise capital, transitioning from private ownership to a public listing on a stock exchange. Investors include institutional investors, funds, banks, and retail investors, individuals who meet specific eligibility requirements, often via brokerage accounts. What is an IPO? Definition: known as, quote, going public. We already got into this, end quote. An IPO involves a company offering shares to the public. And what it says here on the AIO overview on Google, again, I'm not a financial advisor, that the investors include institutional investors, banks, funds, and retail investors, individuals who meet specific eligibility requirements, often via brokerage accounts. IPO involves a company offering shares to the public to raise money for expansion, pay debts, or provide liquidity for early investors. Process: companies hire underwriters, investment banks to manage the listing, determine share price, and prepare a prospectus for regulatory bodies. We already mentioned this, like the ASIC or the SEC listing. Once the IPO closes, the shares are allotted and begin trading on a stock exchange, e.g. ASX, in the secondary market. Risk: IPOs can be volatile, overvalued, and lack historical performance data, making them riskier than established stocks. Who can invest in IPOs? This is what I was trying to get into the whole time. Excuse me. I probably need go get some dinner soon. Institutional investors: large-scale investors like investment banks, mutual funds, and pension funds usually get the first opportunity. Retail investors: individual investors can participate, though they may have higher barriers to entry. Direct application: investors can apply directly through a broker or platforms specialized in IPOs, often requiring a minimum amount, e.g. $2,000. I'm not sure if that's USD or AUD. Eligibility: some brokerages require investors to be, quote, sophisticated, end quote, or meet minimum household asset thresholds to participate in certain deals. Indirect investment: buying shares in a company after it starts trading, or through mutual funds, ETFs that invest in the IPOs. Key considerations for investors: prospectus: investors must review the prospectus PDS to understand the company's financial position, risk, and offer details. Allocation: in oversubscribed IPOs, investors may not receive the full amount of shares they applied for. Again, this is on the AI overview on Google. I'm not a financial advisor, so please go to one, or I'm not sure if that's one sec. In Australia, AIO view on Google: consulting a financial advisor is generally recommended if you have complex financial situations, such as managing significant assets, e.g. 250,000 plus AUD or dollars, planning for retirement, navigating tax changes, or needing to structure investments. While not mandatory for everyone, expert advice helps to create tailored strategies, optimize superannuation, and protect wealth during volatile markets. Fascinating stuff. When to consider a financial advisor in Australia: life transitions, Anyway, we'll get back into Lime. I just wanted to talk about IPOs for a sec. Hopefully that covers most things up. And again, I'm not a financial guru or an advisor, so please chat to one before you're thinking about even getting involved in something like that. And I'm not suggesting anyone to do that, to get involved. Anyway, I'll stop there. But let's continue. Lime, this is on Gemini. Officially, Neutron Holdings Inc. is the world's largest. I think we finished up on that. Business and growth. Lime has become one of the largest shared micro-mobility operators globally, and then as of 2025, they've been preparing for a potential initial public offering, IPO, in the US to raise capital and grow further. Gemini, Lime, official Neutron Holdings Inc. is the world's largest micro-mobility company. If you've spent any time in a major city recently, you've likely seen their signature bright green electric scooters and bikes. As of early 2026, Lime has moved past the, quote, startup, end quote, phase, solidified itself as a profitable global transportation staple. Key company facts: 2026 scale They currently operate in 30 countries. I think we already mentioned this. 30 countries and hundreds of cities across North America, Europe, Asia Pacific, and the Middle East. Milestones: in late 2025, Lime reached a massive milestone of 1 billion rides taken globally since its first launch in 2017. The fleet consists of 270,000 vehicles, including their latest Gen 4 e-scooters and the new, quote, Lime Glider, end quote, a seated vehicle designed for longer city trips. Financials: the company reported its fourth consecutive year of 30% plus growth in 2024, hitting over 810 billion in gross bookings, that's in dollars. While they have discussed going public IPO, they remain private but highly profitable. Major partnerships and innovations: the Uber connection. Uber is a significant investor. You can actually find and book Lime scooters directly within the Uber app, which accounts for a large portion of their rider traffic. Event integration: Lime has become a specialist in, quote, mega event, end quote, logistics. They famously increased their Paris fleet to 15,000 for the 2024 Olympics and are currently prepping specialized fleets for the 2026 FIFA World Cup and the Milan Winter Olympics. Sustainability: they were recently awarded, quote, Net Zero Strategy of the Year, end quote, in late 2025 for their push toward a fully carbon-free supply chain and hardware made from recycled materials. We already talked a bit about how it works. The business model is, quote, dockless, end quote, rental. Number one, locate. Use the Lime or Uber app to find a nearby vehicle. Number two, unlock. Scan the QR code on the handlebars. Usually a fixed unlock fee, e.g. $1. Number three, ride. Pay by the minute. Rates vary by city. Number four, park. Leave the vehicle in a designated parking zone or out of the way on a sidewalk to end the session. We're 12 minutes in. One perplexity here. Lime is a leading micromobility company specializing in shared electric scooters and bikes. We already got into this, so is there anything we need to know? Key history or company overview: providing dockless e-scooters, e-bikes, and sometimes e-mopeds unlocked via a smartphone app using GPS. It has powered over 1 billion rides worldwide since late 2025, replacing millions of car trips and focusing on sustainability. The company hit profitability in 2022 and planned an IPO around 2022, though recent updates emphasize expansion into new markets. Interesting. One sec, let me just double check. By the way, as of early 26, Lime has yet to, we already covered this, not yet gone through an IPO. Key history: started with dockless pedal bikes, pivoted to electric scooters and bikes, acquired Uber's Jump in 2020 for $170 million. Leadership changes with Wayne Ting as CEO, raised $535 million in 2021. That's dollars. Named a Time 100 most influential company. Australia presence: Lime operates in select Australian cities like Sydney, relevant to your location, offering scooters and bikes as part of urban trails. Recent milestone: we already briefly touched on this, reached 1 billion rides in 2025, which improved vehicle models like Lime Glider for safety and comfort, emphasize equity programs like Lime Access for discounted rides. We'll finish up here just under the 15-minute mark. One interesting thing about Lime: it has reached over 1 billion rides worldwide, showing how shared electric scooters and bikes have grown from a niche idea into a major part of urban transport in cities around the world. Fascinating. I wonder if it will be close to your location in the future. I know there's listeners from all around the world, in Ireland, the UK, the US, Australia, and Canada. Not in that order, but they're the top 5 countries. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed another episode today, and thanks for listening.